Hello students, this is Swati Deshpande teacher. Today we will be learning one more interesting topic, that is fractions. It is also known as vulgar fractions. So actually for scholarship there are three different chapters on vulgar fractions. I will be covering all those three chapters today. So today it might be a little longer, the bigger video. So please see the entire video so that all the concepts of your vulgar fractions are clear. Okay. So to begin with, I would like to explain what is the meaning of fractions. Okay. What is the meaning of fraction? See students, suppose you have one big pizza. Okay. You cut it into half and you have half of it. This colored portion is the portion which you have eaten. Okay, so you have eaten one part out of two parts. So how many parts we have made of that pizza? Two parts. How many are you having? Only one. So one out of two. See how children, your teacher, how she gives marks out of 15. If you get 14, how she writes 14 on top, 15 down. So 15 is the total, and whatever you have got, she writes on top. In the same way, here you are supposed to write the total which is down, and whatever you had or whatever you want to show. Now here in this case you have one part out of two parts of pizza, so I am writing one on top. Okay, I'll give you one more example. Suppose this is pizza again. How can I write? I need to count how many pieces I have made this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one big one, 7. But remember students, when we are expressing anything in the form of a fraction, all the pieces should be of the same size. In examination, they may try to confuse you by giving this. If they ask you how much portion is shaded, you are supposed to count total number of pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But here there are two pieces which they have not shown you properly. It is your job to you draw the imaginary line. See, I am drawing this imaginary line here. Okay. So in fact there are 8 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and this one is 8. So here this piece consists of 2 pieces. Is that clear? So how am I going to write this? How many total pieces? 8. Out of that, how many are colored? 2. So this should be my answer. But students, sometimes they ask how many pieces or portion is not colored. So please be careful with the wording of the question. Okay. So if they ask how many pieces are not colored, that time you are supposed to write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces are not colored. So 6 will be on top and 8 will be down, because 8 are the total number of pieces, right? Okay. Next, numerator and denominator. How do we write fraction? Some number is on top. Now I will give you one example. 2 upon 5, suppose. Always we write fraction this way. Something upon, this line is upon something. Some number is on top, some number is down. The number which is on top is always called as numerator, and number which is down is always called as denominator. Okay, remember students, the number on top is numerator, number down is denominator. Okay, now we'll proceed with the like fractions. Like means they look alike. Okay, how? I will explain with the example. if you observe these numbers, 3 upon 15, 5 upon 15, 2 upon 15, all of them have denominator same, that is 15. So students, whenever fractions have same denominator, they are called as like fractions. Okay. From that you all will know what will be unlike fractions. Unlike fractions, I will give you example. See here, denominators are not same. They are totally different. Even numerators are different. So they are called as unlike fractions. Their denominators are different, like this. Unlike this rather. Okay, in this case, in these fractions, denominator is 15. All are 15. So they are called as like fractions, and this kind of fractions are called as unlike fractions. Children, next comes is the proper fraction. Proper fraction will have smaller numerator and bigger denominator always. Numerator will be small, denominator will be big. Okay, like our body. Face is small, body is big. Same like human beings. Smaller number on top, bigger number down, which is called as proper fraction. Like this, 2 is smaller, 5 is bigger. So 2 is on top, 5 is down. Yeah, so this is proper fraction. Improper fraction, opposite. Okay, here it will look like this. Bigger number will be on top and smaller number will be down. Okay, one more example. Okay students, so these improper fractions, we can convert them into mixed fraction. I will be telling you that how to do it, but right now improper fractions can be converted into mixed fraction. Just remember this, okay? Mixed fraction, how do they look like? They have an integer here and a proper fraction attached to it. So it will look like this, a smaller number or a bigger number, that doesn't matter. Small number down, up, and bigger number down. It will look something like this. Okay, some integer and a proper fraction attached to it. So together it is called as mixed fraction. Okay, we will see some examples of fractions. Students, before going ahead with sums, let us first understand how to compare two or many fractions. Okay, so let us begin. See, sometimes they may give you fractions with the same denominators. Denominators, I told you the number which are down, right? So here for example they have given us two fractions, 7 upon 20, 5 upon 20. When the denominators are same, obviously we need to compare the fractions with the help of numerators. And when denominators are same, the bigger the numerator is bigger the fraction. What I mean? The number which is bigger on top is the bigger fraction. The number which is small is a smaller fraction. Okay, so you all tell me which one will be smaller? Obviously 5, because 5 is smaller than 7. So 7 is bigger. Right? Okay. So you can practice such examples so that this rule. What is the rule? When the denominators are same, the number which is bigger in the numerator, that fraction is big. And the fraction with the smaller number as a numerator is the smaller fraction. Okay, rule is very simple. The bigger number, bigger fraction. Smaller number, smaller fraction. Now here, fractions with same numerators. Sometimes they may give you fractions with same numerators but different denominators. Here 15 upon 27, 15 upon 20. Here 15, 15, same numerator, but denominators are different. In this case, obviously we need to compare the fractions with the help of denominator because numerators are same. Here the rule is reverse, ulta. Ulta means the smaller number down is the bigger fraction. Okay, now here 27 and 20. 20 is actually small, but actually in this fraction it is big. When the fractions with same numerators are given, the smaller number in the denominator, that fraction actually is the bigger one, and vice versa. Please be careful. The rules are very simple, but they might be confusing at certain point of time. So it requires a practice so that it is registered here, right? Okay. Next one. Proper fractions with same difference between denominators and numerators. What is the meaning of this? When we will solve this, you will know. 3 upon 4 and 6 upon 7. If you observe, I have used the word proper here. Proper means the smaller number in the numerator and bigger number down, that is the denominator. Okay? Here 3 is smaller, 4 is bigger. 6 is smaller, 7 is bigger. So they are proper fractions. So when we are comparing proper fractions and the difference between the denominator and numerator, denominator minus numerator is same in both the cases. Now here two fractions we are comparing. So 4 minus 3 is also 1. 7 minus 6 is also 1. In that case the comparison becomes easy. Even though the numerator and denominator are not same, then also it becomes very easy because the difference between the denominator and numerator are same. Okay. 4 minus 3 is also 1. 7 minus 6 is also 1. So here the bigger numbers is the bigger fraction. Simple. 3 and 4 are smaller numbers, 6 and 7 are bigger numbers. Okay. In the same way, one more example. 6 minus 3, 3. 8 minus 5, again 3. So difference between the denominator and numerator is same and they are proper fraction. The smaller number on top, bigger number down. So when the difference between denominator and numerator is same, the bigger number is bigger. So 5, 8 are bigger than 3 and 6. So simple. See, now children, this is not all. We should know how to compare unlike fractions. So let us begin with that. Okay students, now let's learn how to compare unlike fractions. Okay. See, there are basically two methods by which or using them we can compare any two unlike fractions. Okay. So this is the first one, by cross multiplication. According to me, this is the easiest method. Okay. Suppose now this 3 upon 5 is given, 2 upon 7 is given. They have told us to find out which one is smaller, which one is bigger. By cross multiplication, cross. So what we'll do? We'll do cross multiplication. We will multiply 7 with 3 and write the multiplication here, 21. Okay. 5 will multiply with this 2 and write the answer here. Now children, 21 is bigger than 10, isn't it? So this one is bigger than this. So simple. So one more example I'll take. Suppose 2 upon 15 and 3 upon 10, suppose. Again, with the help of cross multiplication method, what can we do? 15 into 3 right here. 10 into 2 right here. Which one is bigger? This one. So this fraction is bigger. So simple. I told you this is the simplest one, right? Okay. That does not mean this LCM method is difficult one, huh children? That is equally easy. Okay, now we are learning this LCM method. LCM stands for lowest common multiple. Students, whenever you hear this word multiple, means something to do with tables. Okay, how? I will tell you. Now we have to compare 2 upon 3 and 3 upon 4. Which one is bigger? Which one is smaller? Okay. Now in LCM method, what is important is denominator 3 and 4. Now how to find? We need to find LCM of 3 and 4. How can we do that? Write down 3's table. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Stop there. We don't know. So let us wait here. Now start with 4 table. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. Here. Now see first lowest. Lowest means the smallest. Smallest common multiple. The common number in both the tables. If you observe 12, because 6 is not there here, 8 is not there here, 9 is not there here, but 12 is in both. So 12 is the LCM of 3 and 4. Okay, this 12 is going to help us to find out which one is bigger, which one is smaller. How can we do that? See, our job is to make both the denominators 12. If I want to make 3 12, addition is not allowed, multiplication. So I need to multiply this by 4. So remember students, very important thing. In case of fractions, whatever you do to the denominator, you are supposed to do to the numerator. Whatever you do to the numerator, you are supposed to do the same thing to the denominator. Otherwise the value of the fraction will change, will differ. Okay, we are not allowed to do that. So here I am multiplying by 4 because I want 12. So obviously I need to do that here also. Now 4 I want to make 12, so into 3 I will have to do. So obviously here also into 3. So my new numbers are 8 upon 12, 9 upon 12. I have given you rule when the denominator is same. Now we have made different denominators, we have converted into same denominator with the help of LCM. So as per our first rule there, which one is bigger? The bigger number is bigger. So this means original fractions were 2 upon 3 and 3 upon 4. So obviously this. Understood? So easy. We took help of this LCM. We made both the denominators equal to LCM by multiplying by the required number, and we did the same thing to the numerator so that the value of the fraction will not change. And afterwards we got both the denominators same, then it became very well easy for us to identify which one is bigger, which one is smaller. So we have chosen same thing is applied to the original fractions. Okay, because in your options this number won't be there, original numbers will be there. Okay, so this is how you should do cross multiplication, LCM method. And one more thing which we have already covered, when the difference between the numerator and denominator is same in case of proper fraction, the numbers with bigger digits or the fraction with bigger digits is bigger and smaller with smaller, that we have already covered. Okay students, now let us begin with actual sums. Students, let's begin with some examples. Here I have taken some like fractions example, some are unlike fractions. Okay, so let's begin. See, 5 upon 16 plus 7 upon 16, 16, 16, they are like fractions. So easy. How? What I am supposed to do? 5, I am adding only the numerators, mind you. Denominator should not be added. It should be commonly given. So it is 12 upon 16. I am adding only the numerators. Okay, denominator I am giving this also 16, This is also 16. So commonly I am giving 16. Okay, only addition of numerators. Please be careful. Okay, same way in subtraction also I will do. Here I added because that was addition, here it is subtraction. So I will subtract 8 minus 3 and I will give common denominator. So it is 5 upon 20. Easy, isn't it? Okay, now here there are no like fractions, they are unlike fractions, but nothing to worry about. We have our LCM method, isn't it? Okay, let us begin. 3 upon 4 minus 1 upon 3. Now 4 and 3 are not same. So we need to find out the LCM. How can we do that? 4 table. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. We'll wait here. Table of 3. I got my lowest multiple, lowest common multiple. So LCM is 12. What is the meaning of that? I should make both the denominators 12. How can I do that? Can I rub and write 12? No. Can I add? No. You have to multiply. Remember. So 4, if I want to multiply with some number to get the answer 12, what is that number? 3. Whatever I do to the denominator, I have to do it for numerator. So into 3. 3 into 4 is 12. So here also into 4. So my new numbers are 9 upon 12 minus 4 upon 12. Now my denominators are same like this. So my work is easy. What? 9 minus 4 upon 12, that is 5 upon 12. This is my answer. So dealing with unlike fractions is not at all difficult. Only additional part is LCM. Okay. Now here we did subtraction in the same way. Addition. 5 and 3 are not same. So LCM. 5 table. We'll wait here. 3 table. If it is required, then we will write. Not to waste time. Okay. See, here I got my lowest common multiple. See, actually 5 and 3 are co-primes. Okay, you are supposed to know what are co-prime numbers too. Okay, so whenever two numbers are co-prime, their LCM is always their product or multiplication. So the students who know that don't have to write this at all. 5 into 3, 15. Okay. But never mind, you can write this way also. So 15 is the LCM. What does it mean? I should convert both the denominators to 15. Into 3, into 3. 5 into 3, 15. 3 into 5, 15. Into 5, 15. So it is 12 upon 15 plus 10 upon 15. Now both are 15. Work is easy. 12 plus 10 upon 15, that is 22 upon 15. Okay students, revise this, practice this. Believe me, it is very simple. Okay. Now here comes the final one, that is the multiplication. When two fractions are multiplied with each other, actually what we are supposed to do is divide the numbers. The numbers with the numerators and numbers with denominators, they are divided with each other with the help of divisibility tests. Okay, I will explain. Observe the numbers. 15 upon 7, 21 upon 3. Now in 3's table 15 comes because in short 15 is completely divisible by 3. How do you know? I will upload one more video on divisibility test. Most of you all already know, I believe. Okay. So 1 plus 5, 6. 6 comes in 3's table. So 15 is divisible by 3. So I can find, or rather divide this by 3. 3 ones are 3. 3 fives are 15. Okay students. This 7 and 21. You all know 21 comes in the table of 7. So 21 is also divisible by 7. 7 is also divisible by 7. So I can do the division. 7 ones are 7. 7 threes are 21. When the 1 comes, means no more further division is possible. Over. Okay. Answer. 5 into 3. Answer is 15. 1 into 1. So answer is 15. Understood students? Now someone may say, teacher, why did you do division of 3 and 15? 3 के table में तो 21 भी आता है, isn't it? So we'll try that also. I will make some space. Okay students, pay attention. I am rewriting this. See, last time what I did, 3 ones are 3, 3 fives are 15. Because in 3's table, 15 comes, right? But I know in 3's table, 21 also comes. So why can't I do this? Okay, we'll do that. 3 ones are 3, 3 sevens are 21. Now 7 here, 7 here. 7 ones are 7, 7 ones are 7. What do we have now? 15 upon 1 into 1 upon 1. That is 15 upon 1. That is 15. See students, answer won't change. Okay? Only thing is, even though you divide 21 by 3 first or 15 by 3 first, your answer won't change as long as you are following the divisibility test properly. Okay? Let us begin with few more examples. Students, let's begin with few more examples. Okay? See, sometimes we need quick answers because time is the crucial factor in any competitive exam, right? So in case of some examples or questions, we need to do or we need to use shortcut methods. Okay? So now I am going to share some things with you. Whenever they ask questions like this, I will read out the question for you. If the sum of 7 upon asterisk plus 9 upon asterisk is equivalent to 1, what number should replace asterisk? This looks bit confusing, but if I share with you the trick, you should be able to solve this in 10 seconds. Okay? What you have to do in this kind of sums? Just add whatever is there in the numerator. 16. So 16 should come in place of asterisk. Why? We will see. See here, first you learn. Whenever they ask you something like this, your job is just to add the numerators and give the answer. Okay? Why 16? That we will see now. 7 upon 16. Now I am putting this, replacing asterisk with 16. Equivalent to 1 means equal to 1. They want this value to be 1. So how? Now you know how to do addition. 7 plus 9 upon 16. That is 16 upon 16. That is 1. So this is correct. You saw? So how we came to know about the answer? Only we added the numerators and answer is ready. So simple, isn't it? Now we will begin with the second one, or rather the next one. How many times should 6 upon 10 be added to 6 upon 10 so that the sum is 3? Okay, I am writing the way they have given me numerical values. 6 upon 10, उसके बाद क्या है 6 upon 10 and then this 3. Okay, 3 means 3 upon 1 actually. 3 means 3 upon 1, right? Now here also I am going to tell you a shortcut method to arrive at the answer. Begin with the middle one, multiply with 3. So answer is 30, right? Multiply किया तो answer क्या आया? 30, right? Now then you minus 6 from this 30. 30 minus 6, what is the answer? 24. Then you divide by this. 24 divided by 6, what is the answer? 4. So first what I did? Middle 10. 10 into 3 I did. I got the answer 30. 10 into 3 I did. Answer is 30. Then I divided 30 by this next number 6. So 30, not divided, minus 6. Then I got 24. See, first I multiplied 10 into 3, 30. Then I did minus 6. So it is 24 and then divide. Last one is divide. So whatever is answer, 24 divided by 6. That is 4. So 4 is the option. Understood? 4 is the answer. Okay, so you have to choose the option where 4 is written. Got me? Okay. Let us begin with the next sum. So this is a shortcut, children. So these questions were asked before. Many times they have asked. This also and this also. So these shortcuts are very useful for you to arrive at the answer in minimum possible time. Next one. There are 48 students in a class. 5 upon 8 of them are boys. How many girls are there? Okay. See, 5 upon 8 are boys. This can be solved by two methods. 5 upon 8 of them means total. So how many boys are there? How to find out? 5 upon 8 into total students in a class. 48. Okay. I told you numbers in the numerators and numbers in the denominators we have to divide. No number from numerator to numerator don't divide. One number has to be from the numerator, other one has to be from the denominator. Now here in this case, observe 8 and 48. 48 is completely divisible by 8 because 48 comes in 8's table. So 8 ones are 8, 8 6 are 48. So what do I have now? 5 into 6 upon 1 into 1, that is 30 upon 1. So how many? See, 5 upon 8 was boy. Boy ka fraction, boys ka, right? So 30 boys are there. Total students, how many are there in the class? 48. So out of them 30 are boys. So obviously 18 are girls. Okay. Now this same sum, now here our answer is 18 students. Same sum can be solved in a little different way. How? See, 5 upon 8 means total 8, out of that 5 belongs to boys. So obviously 3 belongs to girls, isn't it? So fraction of girls is how much? 3 upon 8. 3 upon 8 of total, that is 48. Again 8 ones are 8, 8 6 are 48. So what do we have now? That is 3 into 6 will come on top, 1 into 1 down, 18. See, our answer has not changed. Here we took the help of 5 upon 8, arrived at total number of boys and deducted it or subtracted it from the total. Second way is to find out the fraction part of the girls and then multiply with the total. Answer is ready. Anyway, you are going to get the same answer. Okay, students? Few more things I want to clarify with you as far as fraction. Fraction is a very important topic. It's really very important because 100% questions will be there on fractions. It has a more weightage. Okay, so I want to take one more example which is also very important from exam point of view. So let us begin. So I am reading it for you. There are 30 trees in all in a garden. 1/3 trees are of mango, 1/2 trees are of coconut, and remaining are jackfruit trees. How many jackfruit trees are there in the garden? Okay, students, remember whatever fractions they will give. Now here they have given 1/3, 1/2. That is with respect to total. 1/2 of total, 1/3 of total. Remember that, total trees in the garden. Okay. So mango, how many? 1/3 of total. How many total are there? 30 trees, right? Now one number from denominator, one number from numerator, we need to divide. So 3 and 30. 3 ones are 3, 3 tens are 30. So my answer is 1 into 10, 10. And 1 into 1, 1. So 10 trees. Mango, how many trees are there? 10. Okay. Same way we will calculate for coconut. 1/2 of total, that is 30. Here again 2 ones are 2. Now here I need to divide 30 by 2. So I am taking only 3 first. So 2 ones are 2. Out of 3, 2 I am utilizing. So 1 is remaining. 1 I will attach to this 0. So it is 10 now. So 2 5s are 10. See, if you are not comfortable doing this, you can do it like this. But that is going to take little more time. So always practice at home division by this method. It is really going to help you, okay, to arrive at the answer in the least possible time. Okay. There is nothing wrong in dividing like this, but saving time is the main intention. Okay. Now how many? 15/1. That is 15. So coconut trees are 15. So what is the addition of mango and coconut? 25. So total trees, how many are there? Total trees in the garden are 30. Out of that, mango and coconut are how many? 25. So 0, 5, that is 5 trees are of jackfruit. Jackfruit, how many? 5. So 5 is the answer. Students, they may change the fraction, they may change the total number of trees. Your procedure to arrive at the answer is absolutely same. So practice this kind of sum. Okay, now to proceed with, I would like to tell you how to convert improper fraction to mixed fraction and mixed fraction to improper fraction. So let's begin. Dear students, let's start converting mixed fraction to improper and improper to mixed. Okay, very simple. Now mixed fraction to improper fractions. Now mixed fraction is given to you. How does it look? Integer with the proper fraction attached to it. So it looks like this. Okay, so this mixed fraction we should convert into improper fraction. So simple. I am writing it here again. What is your job? Your job is to multiply these two numbers, 5 into 6, the number here and number here, denominator, okay. 5 into 6, 30, and whatever answer you will get, you will add 3. So what you are going to do first? 5 into 6, you got 30. Then to that 30, you are adding the number whichever is there in the numerator, 33. So your final answer is 33 upon 6. Upon 6. Denominator does not change. Okay. So what we did, I am repeating it again. 5 into 6, 30 plus 3, 33 upon 6. Numerator will change but denominator will not change. So practice this, students, because these questions are very common in the final examination. Okay. Now here, improper is given. Why improper? Because numerator is big, denominator is small. So this is improper fraction. Now we are trying to convert that into a mixed fraction. How can it be done? Okay. Now this numerator, whatever number is given in the numerator, take it as a dividend and divide that number with denominator as a divisor. What I am trying to tell you is that the number in the numerator will be dividend and denominator number will be the divisor. Do the division. Okay. Now this is quotient, this is remainder, this is divisor, right? That you all know. So now write this like this: quotient remainder upon D. Quotient is how much? 8. Remainder is 2 upon divisor is 5. So this is a conversion of 42 upon 5 to mixed fraction. So 42 upon 5 is same as 82 upon 5. See how different numbers but their value is same. This, try to convert back to this with this method. 8 into 5, 40 plus 2, 42 upon 5 will remain upon 5. I told you denominator never changes, right? So this I wanted to show you. Still one more thing I need to check with you, or rather tell you, is the meaning of equivalent fractions. So let us do that. Students, let's learn equivalent fractions. As the name suggests, equi means they are equal. Okay. Now what is the meaning of actual equivalent fractions? We will take 2 examples. You will know immediately after solving those. Okay. I am doing this 1 upon 2 and 15 upon 45. I have taken 2 different fractions. Okay. Now first concentrate on this 1 upon 2. Now 1 upon 2 is one fraction, you all know. If I multiply this by suppose 2, I told you, you have to do same thing to numerator as well as denominator. So my answer is 1 into 2, 2, 2 into 2, 4. Suppose I multiply 1 upon 2 by 3. Okay. Original 1 upon 2 by 3, not 2, by 3. Okay. So 3 upon 6. So students, whenever we give the same treatment to the numerator as well as denominator, it may be multiplication on both the sides or division on both the sides. Whatever new numbers or new fractions we get, their value is exactly same as the original fraction. What does it mean? See, 1 upon 2 was our original fraction. 2 upon 4 we got after multiplying both the sides by 2. 3 upon 6 we got by multiplying both the sides by 3. So all these fractions are of same value even though the digits look different. Okay. So 1 upon 2, 2 upon 4, 3 upon 6 all are equivalent fractions. Now one more example we will take. Now since these numbers are big, suppose I try to divide both of them by 3, because both these numbers are completely divisible by 3. So what I am getting? 5 upon 15, right? If I divide 15 by 3, I am getting 5. 45 by 3, I am getting 15. Suppose I further divide it by 5. What will I get? 1 upon 3. So here 3 different fractions. What? This was original one. Then this we got after dividing it by 3 on both the places, numerator, denominator, and this by dividing by 5. So these three factors, different factors with different digits, are of same value because we treated both numerator and denominator with exactly same operation. Operation in the sense multiply by 2, multiply by 2, divide by 5, divide by 5, whatever you do to one, for example numerator, you have to do the same thing for the denominator. Then whatever new numbers you get, new fractions you get, are equivalent to the or equivalent of the original fraction. Right, students? Okay, here we are through with our fraction chapter. I hope you will understand each and everything whatever I have taught you today. Okay, you can revise. Fraction is a very important topic and it's there for further standards also. So this is just the beginning. Okay, so study well, student, and if you have any query, any doubt, then you can ask me in the chat box. Okay, I will definitely answer your queries. Okay. Students, if you have really enjoyed my lecture, then like my video, subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so that you get notified whenever I post new videos. Okay? Till then, bye.